Ali Khamenei has brought our beloved nation to the brink of war, but this tyrant, this pariah, is increasingly isolated. For decades he has wrought terror and chaos upon the region. Now he will face the consequences. But let us be clear, this is the Islamic Republic's war, not the people of Iran's. My compatriots want freedom and democracy for themselves and peaceful coexistence with their neighbors. They are courageously standing up to this criminal regime, but they need the world's support. I call on the international community to stand with the people of Iran. This is a moment of opportunity. This regime has never been weaker or more divided. My compatriots are fighting to save their nation and to be a partner for peace. Be their ally in their fight. They deserve your maximum support, said His Majesty Prince Reza Pahlavi. The growing proximity of Trita Parsi to the Biden-Harris administration raises significant concerns due to his established connections with key figures in the Islamic Republic regime. As the founder of the National Iranian-American Council and the Quincy Institute, Parsi has long-standing ties to Mohammad Javad Zarif, the Islamic Republic's former foreign minister and current Vice President for Strategic Affairs, as well as Masoud Pezeshkian, the Islamic Republic's current president. Recent reports of a closed-door meeting at the White House involving Parsi, Zarif, and Pezeshkian are particularly problematic. The nature of these interactions, especially in private settings, suggests an alignment that warrants careful scrutiny given the complex political and strategic interests at stake. In a recent statement, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps intelligence organization labeled support for Israel as a crime and urged citizens to report individuals who express such support on social media. This move by the Islamic Republic not only represents a clear violation of individual rights, but it also seeks to foster a culture of distrust, encouraging people to inform on each other. By promoting this form of betrayal, the government is attempting to turn the Iranian people against one another, deepening societal divisions. Hossein Koshki-Nejad, who suffers from joint issues and a knee injury, is facing significant mobility challenges. Before his imprisonment, he was scheduled to undergo surgery in April of this year. But since his incarceration, he has been denied the opportunity to be transferred to a hospital for this critical procedure. A source close to Koshki-Nejad's family stated, "Two doctors had expressed their willingness to perform the surgery, but due to interference from prison authorities, they have withdrawn." Additionally, Mr. Koshki-Nejad is struggling financially because of his imprisonment and cannot afford the cost of his treatment. He is now looking for a doctor who can perform the surgery free of charge. This delay in medical care has exacerbated his physical condition, leaving him in urgent need of assistance. Mateen Hassani, a victim of eye injuries from the November 2019 protests, continues to suffer from severe pain and eye infection, but has been denied medical care and leave for treatment. The prison authorities in Bukhan have refused to transfer him to the infirmary or hospital despite his worsening condition. Hassani, who has been imprisoned for over 40 days, was sentenced to 31 months in prison on charges of propaganda against the regime and inciting people to war and violence with the intent of disrupting national security. At the age of 19, during the November 2019 nationwide protests in Bukhan, Mr. Hassani was injured when security forces fired pellets at him, causing severe damage to his eye. After the national uprising following the death of Mahsa Amini, Mr. Hassani decided to share his story publicly, shedding light on the consequences of state violence and his personal suffering. Since late July, Laleh Saati has been repeatedly transferred from the general ward to Ward 209 of Evin Prison for interrogations. Recently, she refused to comply with these ongoing transfers, stating that she no longer wishes to be interrogated. As the case handler, the Ministry of Intelligence has opposed her request for conditional release, citing her lack of cooperation. Laleh Saati was arrested by security forces upon her return to Iran and transferred to the women's ward of Evin Prison in February 2024. During her detention, she has been repeatedly moved to the Intelligence Ministry's interrogation facility, Ward 209, for questioning. In April this year, Ms. Saati was sentenced by Branch 26 of Tehran's Revolutionary Court, presided over by Judge Iman Afshari, to 2 years in prison and a ban on leaving the country. Despite suffering from health issues, she was denied proper medical attention in May while in prison. Shadi Shahidzadeh, a Baha'i citizen imprisoned in Evin Prison, was released on Monday, September 30th, after serving her sentence. Ms. Shahidzadeh was arrested by security forces on May 1st of last year and later transferred to Evin Prison. In mid-July 2023, Branch 26 of the Tehran Revolutionary Court, presided over by Judge Iman Afshari, sentenced her to 5 years in prison on charges of membership in illegal groups aimed at disrupting national security. This sentence was later upheld in October by Branch 36 of the Tehran Court of Appeals. However, after a retrial request was accepted by Branch 39 of the Supreme Court, her sentence was reduced to 18 months by Branch 54 of the Court of Appeals. Ataullah Zafar, an 80-year-old Baha'i citizen, returned to Evin Prison to serve the remainder of his 2-year prison sentence after a 6-month suspension. Mr. Zafar was initially arrested by security forces on May 1st of last year. He was later transferred from the Ministry of Intelligence detention facility known as Ward 209 to the General Ward of Evin Prison. In 2023, Branch 26 of the Tehran Revolutionary Court, presided over by Judge Iman Afshari, sentenced him to 5 years in prison on charges of membership in illegal groups aimed at disrupting national security. This sentence was later reduced to 2 years by Branch 36 of the Tehran Court of Appeals. On Tuesday, October 1st, Fatemeh Moradpour, a 15-year-old girl from Rumeshkan in Lorestan province, tragically ended her life after facing immense pressure from her family to marry a married man. The family had been attempting to arrange her marriage to a 40-year-old man despite her being just a teenager. Fatemeh had repeatedly voiced her strong opposition to the marriage, expressing her distress over being forced into such a situation. However, her family's insistence left her feeling trapped and powerless. Despite her efforts to resist, the relentless pressure took a devastating toll on her mental health. When she realized that she couldn't change her family's decision and that her pleas were falling on deaf ears, she saw no other way out and took the heartbreaking step of ending her life by hanging herself. Her tragic death highlights the ongoing issue of forced and early marriages, especially in rural and more conservative areas where young girls often have little say in major life decisions. Fatemeh's story has stirred a deep sense of sorrow and outrage, drawing attention to the need for greater awareness and action to prevent such tragedies in the future. On Tuesday, October 1st, a group of environmental activists gathered in front of Tehran City Council to protest against what they describe as park grabbing by the Tehran municipality. They assert that public parks and green spaces are being exploited for non-environmental purposes such as commercial development or private use, which reduces the city's already limited natural spaces. The activists called for immediate action to stop this encroachment, emphasizing the importance of protecting urban parks for public well-being, environmental health, and combating air pollution in the city. Shareholders of the Golbaran commercial complex in Desful gathered in protest outside the city's courthouse, demanding action from the judiciary to reclaim their lost investments. Chanting slogans, they expressed frustration over unfulfilled promises made by officials and called for the company to settle accounts and return their assets. The protesters are seeking justice for what they consider the misappropriation of their capital. On Sunday, October 6th, retired steelworkers protesting outside the presidential office in Tehran were met with violence as security forces attacked the group, beating and arresting several demonstrators. The retirees were demanding unpaid pensions and benefits, but instead of addressing their grievances, the government responded with force, reflecting a broader trend of cracking down on protests in Iran.